Hello, it's Miss Chen and meow. We're going to teach you about math today. What do you know about math? Thought so. All right. So today what we're going to do is we're going to learn more about penguins. And I don't know if you know this, but one of my favorite animals are penguins. And one thing that penguins love to do is to huddle. And they huddle together to stay warm. So I want to show you something. How many penguins do you see? Oh, I heard 11, I heard 10, and I heard 6. All right, so next thing we're going to look at is this right here. And it says, how many more penguins do you need to join each group to make a huddle of 10? So let's look at this first iceberg here. That's crooked. How do I make it less crooked? Okay, so this penguin, this one here is asking you how many more penguins need to join each group to make a huddle of 10. So how many penguins do we see? I see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many more until 10? Now I know some of you already know the answer, but I want to write an equation. So I know there are 8 penguins. So I'm going to write the number 8. And I don't know how many more there are. So this is the mystery number. So I'm going to draw a box. And then I know that I need 10. So I'm going to write 10 at the end of my equation. So pause your video and think, how many more penguins do we need until 10? Good. I heard that many of you said 2. So our equation is 8 plus 2 equals 10. Now let's look at the next iceberg here. How many more penguins do we need until 10? First, let's start with what we know. So we see how many penguins here? 5. Good. So we're going to write the number 5. And then we're going to put a box around for the mystery number because we're not too sure how many more we need. And then we're going to write our equations, our equals, and we know we need 10, so we're going to put 10 at the end. All right, I'm going to be a minute to solve this equation. All right, I heard a lot of you said 5. And that is the correct answer. Now, what happens if you're not too sure? What is the strategy we can use if we're not too sure of how many penguins are needed to be on ice? Maybe we can draw penguins on the ice and we can count up. So we can start with 5 and then we can draw circles as we count. So we can draw circles so we can do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then count how many circles I drew. Now the next thing I want you to do is look at the last one. And if you have paper with you or a whiteboard marker, this would be a good time to get it. I'll let you pause the video. And we're going to do this one together as a class. So how many penguins do you see here? Good. Now write that number on your whiteboards or paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we know that we need some more until we get to 10. So I'm going to draw my box. I'm going to draw my equation and write number 10. So I want you to try solving it, and once you have it, you can unpause the video and show me your answer. I see a lot of good thinking. See a lot of people, some people drawing circles. I see some people who use their brain computers. Nice job. Okay. Show me your answer in 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some story problems about penguins. So room 6 knows that when we read story problems, we read it 3 times. Read it first time just to hear what the story's about, and then we read it the second time to pay attention to the numbers, and the third time is to pay attention to the question. So here it says, here is a huddle of 10 penguins. 2 penguin pals are swimming around the huddle so they can get warm too. How many penguins will there be in all when 2 penguins join their friends? Write an equation to show. So again, here is a huddle of 10 penguins. 2 penguin pals are swimming toward the huddle so they can get warm too. So right there, I see that there's something that we need to highlight or underline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight, if I can find my highlighter, the number 10, and I'm going to highlight the word 2 penguins, because those are important. Next it says, how many penguins will there be in all when 2 penguins join their friends? Write an equation to show. So, all right, we're going to read this one more time, and then now we're going to pay attention to what the author wants us to do with this story problem. Number 1 says, here is a huddle of 10 penguins. 2 penguin pals are swimming toward the huddle so they can get warm too. How many penguins will there be in all when 2 penguins join their friends? Write an equation to show. So right here, it's asking me how many penguins will there be in all when 2 penguins join their friends. It's also asking me to write an equation. So I highlighted that, so that way I know. So what I know is, we start with the number 10, because we see 10 on the iceberg. And then when it says 2 penguins join, and when we join an activity, that means we're coming together as a group. So that means 10 plus 2 would equal, okay. Now the next one is it says, here is a huddle of 10 penguins. 6 penguin pals are swimming towards the huddle, but they're too far to see. How many penguins will there be in all when 6 penguins join their friends? Write an equation to show. All right, second read. Here is a huddle of 10 penguins. So right there, I see the word 10 and penguins. I'm going to highlight that because that's important. Six penguin pals are swimming toward the huddle, but they're too far to see. I hear a number word in that sentence, so I'm going to highlight the word 6 and penguins. How many penguins will there be in all when 6 penguins join their friends? Write an equation to show. All right, third read. Now we're going to pay attention to what the author wants us to do with the story problem. We're going to pay attention to the question. We're going to pay attention to the directions. Here is a huddle of 10 penguins. 6 penguin pals are swimming toward the huddle, but they're too far to see. How many penguins will there be in all when the 6 penguins join their friends? Write an equation to show. So I see that there's a question mark and I see the word how many. So I'm going to highlight that sentence because it's asking us to find how many penguins will be there in all when all 6 penguins join their friends. So if you're following along and you have a whiteboard and you have a paper, let's write our equation together. So we know that we have 10 penguins. So you should write 10 on your whiteboards or paper. And it's going to ask me, the question's asking me, how many penguins will there be in all when 6 penguins join their friends? So when I say here the word join and in all, that's telling me that it's going to be addition. And I know there's 6 more coming. So I'm going to add number 6. Okay, so show me your equation in 3, in 2, and in 1. Nice job. I see a lot of people remember to put the equations, the equal sign at the end. And it should look like this. All right. Let's look at the next one. So this one says, there were 10 penguins in a huddle. Some more penguins joined them. Then there were 14 penguins in a huddle. How many penguins joined the huddle? Write an equation to show. All right, second read, we're paying attention to the numbers. So there were 10 penguins in a huddle. Some penguins joined them. Then there were 14 penguins in a huddle. So I'm noticing the number 10. I'm noticing the word some more. And I'm noticing the word 14 penguins. So I'm going to highlight those because that gives me a clue as to what's going on in the story. And the question asks us, how many penguins joined the huddle? Write an equation to show. All right, third read, we're going to pay attention to the question now. And as I'm reading this question, I want you to think about what this equation look like. There were 10 penguins in a huddle. Some more joined them. And then there were 14 penguins in a huddle. How many penguins joined the huddle? Write an equation to show. All right, so if you're on your whiteboards, I'm also going to, before we do that, we're going to highlight the question. Which is how many penguins, it's asking you, how many penguins joined the huddle? And it's asking us to write an equation. Okay, so if you're on your whiteboards or your pencils, what you're going to do now is we're going to write our equation. So I know that there was 10. We started with 10. And then it said some more. So that's going to tell me that some tells me there's a mystery number. More tells me that it's an addition problem. So I'm going to use my addition and my box to show my mystery number. And then it says, and then there were 14 penguins in a huddle. So that tells me how many were all together at the end of the story. So I'm going to equal and 14. So if your equation looks like this, awesome job. All right. Oops. This will be our last math problem for today. All right, so it says there were 10 penguins in a huddle. Some more penguins joined them, and then there were 17 penguins in a huddle. How many penguins joined the huddle? Write an equation to show. All right, second read. We're paying attention to the numbers now and special words. There were 10 penguins in a huddle. Some more penguins joined them, and then there were 17 penguins in the huddle. Pause this video here and think about what 3 things Ms. Chen's going to highlight. I hear you're thinking all the way to my house. I hear some people thinking, oh, 10 because that's a number. I hear some people thinking the word 17 penguins because that's also a number. And I heard somebody very loudly whispered, some more. So these are the numbers we're going to pay attention to in this story problem. Third read, we're going to pay attention to the question. We're going to pay attention to what's the author want us to do with this story. So there were 10 penguins in a huddle. Some more penguins joined them. And then there were 17 penguins in the huddle. How many penguins joined the huddle? Write an equation to show. So I'm going to highlight the question which says, how many penguins joined the huddle? And it says, write an equation to show. All right, so what I'm going to ask you to do right now is you're going to pause your video. You're going to write your equation on your whiteboard or your paper. And pause. All right. Ooh, I see a lot of writing. I see a lot of thinking. I see some people who remembered that we started with 10. I see some people remembered what some more means. And I see that a lot of people remembered that we're doing addition, so we did the plus sign. All right, if your equation looks like this, awesome job. All right, so I wrote 10 because that's the number we start with. Then it said some more, which tells me it's a mystery number. And then there were 17 penguins. 17 tells me how many penguins were left. I'm sorry, not left, but all together. All right. So today or tomorrow, you can work on this packet here. This is this packet. And what you're going to do is you're going to write an equation to match your penguins. And how many all together. Okay. And then this side is this challenge. I want you to try. All right. Before I go, I'm going to do a couple with you. All right, so let's do the first one, this one here. So how many penguins do you see on the top shelf? I heard 10, is that correct? All right, that's right, 10. And then how many do we have on the bottom shelf? I heard 6. Great job. Okay, so your equation should look like this. And then you're going to solve your equation. So 10 plus 6 is... Oh, good. I heard 16. Great job. All right. So the last two are word problems. And I'm not going to do three reads with these ones to save time. But if you need if you want to hear me read it 3 times, you can always pause, go back, listen. So, first story problem says, there were 10 penguins on top ledge and 4 penguins on the bottom ledge. How many in all? So I'm paying attention to the numbers. So I'm going to highlight. If you don't have a highlighter, you can always underline with a pencil the numbers. And then it's asking us how many in all. And that tells me what to do with all these penguins. I'm going to do one with you as a class. I'm not going to give you the answer though. That's what your thinking's for. Okay, so I know that there's 10 on top. And then I know there was 4 on the bottom. And it's asking me how many are all together. All right, so I want you to try this page by yourself. And then this one, I want you to try as much as you can. All right. And make sure you watch the penguin video I'm linking below because penguins are my favorites and I love them very much. All right, so this is the end of today's math lesson. Remember, wash your hands, be safe, be great, and be kind. See you later.